I want to thank Doug Wilkes for inviting me here. I always love talking about Veterans Day. Of course, I'm a veteran, and it's a very special day to me. And I guess if I was going to label this speech one thing, it would be, why do I stand? Why do I stand for the flag? Why do I stand when the national anthem comes up? But before I get started about that, I've got to talk about the messenger. I think it'll help with my message about Veterans Day. So I got to talk about myself a little bit. So I'm going to tell you a few things so you can understand me a little bit. So my interest in the military all started with my father. He was in the military. All his brothers were in the military. I've lived at a military base. I've been around the military bases my whole life. So that's where my interest in the military began. But what's unique about me is my mother. So my mother was born on the other side of the earth in a little country called Indonesia. And she was a POW. And if you don't know what that means, that's a prisoner of war. She told me the story when she was a little girl playing in her front yard, and the Japanese soldiers were marching down the street. And they gathered up her and her mother and her dad, and they said, hey, just get what you need for 1 week. You're gonna be right back here. Well, she never saw her dad again. Her and her mom were put in a prisoner of war camp for almost 4 years. And the only way she survived is she stole food. They worked in the kitchen, they stole food. And later on, I actually found a diary of hers. And it talked about the torture that she saw. She saw her mother tortured. She saw people put to death. She saw incredible things you can't even imagine. Of course, for a girl that's from 9 to 13 years old, it was unbelievable. So this was a woman you didn't complain too much, that's for sure. And then she told me that the craziest story was towards the end of the war, and they didn't know it was toward the end of the war. The soldiers were moving them from different campsites. And the last place they lived at, they, for some reason, put them in these dried out grass shacks. And what she later found out is they were gonna burn them alive. They wanted to get rid of all the evidence. But one day, she said they woke up and all the Japanese guards were just gone. Well, they thought it was a trick. So they didn't leave for a month. And she said, we knew we were free when they saw the first white man come over the hill. So you've got to understand, I was raised a little bit different than everybody else. There was two things in our family that was very important. Food was number one. You didn't waste it. You never wasted any food. So in this country, we're so fortunate to have an abundance of food, but in our family, we never wasted anything. I mean, anything that we had, and we hold it dear to us. The other thing was time. It was so precious to her about time. And what she meant about that is you always wanted to tell people that you love and you care about every day that you love them. So in our household, we said, I love you no matter where you went. If it was from the bedroom to the bathroom, we couldn't say it enough because you never know when that's gonna be the last time you get to say it. So, and she also about time is have a good time wherever you're at, because again, it can all be taken away from you. So there's no reason to complain and to be negative. Always be caring about that. So that's one thing she taught me. So again, I was raised a little bit different, but just like everybody else, I was a young teenager growing up. I thought I knew everything about life. I had a chance to play college basketball up north. I didn't want that. You know, I'm gonna make my own decisions. I'm gonna go to JSU, hang out with my friends, and go to school. And it was a great plan, because that first semester, I was making C's. Hey, I can live with that. You know, and I was pretty good at basketball. I was not a bad pool player, and I was having fun. Second semester was even better. You know, I was a great basketball player, really good at pool, and having a great time, but my path in life was on a bad path, and I knew that. I was making all F's. So I decided, you know, I think I tell all I'm a former coach also, I tell all my players, my students, I said, your life always comes to a crossroad in life. And if I stay on this path is gonna be bad. I know where this path in life is gonna end up. But if I go down this path with my friends, that's even gonna be worse. So I've gotta make a drastic change, and that's where the military came in. I decided to join the military. And when I joined the military, I didn't join the military because I was the most patriotic person, you know, but that grew out of the people that I served with, the men and women that I served with, the places that I got to go to see, good and bad, and to see what our country does for other countries, and what even for our own. And then my love and for this country grew, because if you ever get a chance to travel the world, you get to see how other people live, and you realize without a shadow of a doubt, this is the greatest country on earth. There's no question about it, right? So that's where my love for the military grew. But before I start that, I gotta tell you another story, which is a little bit difficult for me to tell, but I think it gives me a little bit insight about who I am. So again, I was a basketball coach. And this particular time, we had a very good team. I mean, we could shoot the three. Where's probably 7, 8 dunks a game. We could play great defense. In fact, we were so good, we were fortunate to play at JSU at the Coliseum 3 times, and the gym would be packed. So I was the coach. So that means I'm the man. Everybody, when you're winning, everybody wants to be around you. Everybody wants to interview you. And when you're losing, nobody wants to talk to you. But when you're winning, everybody wants to be around you. So, I was the man. And that, like I said, we had a great season. We're coming into our first round of playoffs. I got an interview right after school. I do my interview, and before every game, I like to take a little power nap. Gets me going, so gives me some energy. So this power nap, all of a sudden, I get a phone call. I never forget it. I pick up the phone. It's Miss Ship, our principal. She says, "Coach, you need to get home right away. Something bad has happened." Woo! My mind is just going crazy. I don't even know if I hung up the phone. I'm running red lights, getting to the house. I'm thinking the worst thing imaginable. Has happened. My mother got killed in a car accident. And it was tough. I'm sitting there like I am now, real emotional. I can't believe this has happened to me. I'm down on the ground, not believing this. How can this happen to me? This isn't fair. I go through everything. Anger, just unbelievable. And I am not the kind of guy that you want to come up and hug. I am going to get through this on my own. I don't need your help. I'm going to do it. There's nobody that can help me right now, because the only person that can help me is gone, right? So if I want to cry and sit here and cry, I'm going to do it. Just leave me alone. And then what happened? Just like that, and it was an unbelievable moment. I'm sitting there crying on the street, and I hear this voice, and it says, "Get up. Get up. We don't do that. I'm okay." And it was powerful. And I did. I understood right now everything my mom was teaching me, to get up. There was no way when I was a kid, and if I was on that playground and I fell down, I better get up. She's not coming out there for me. When I'm on the ball field, I better get up. She's not coming out there for me. I got to get up and keep moving forward. When I was at the war, in a war zone, I wrote her a letter, how bad the situation was. I wish I would have kept that letter, because it was unbelievable. And I'll sum it up to you this way, and I'll clean it up. She said, "Get up, and not only get up, you make everybody around you better." That's what she always was about. And so that's what I did. I coached that night, and it wasn't just because it's a game. And by the way, it's never a game. It means more than that. And, it was good for my team, good for my spirit. That's what she taught me her whole life. So that's just a little bit about me. Now, I'm going to give you a few reasons of why I stand for that flag when it comes on. And the first thing I'll talk about is brotherhood. Every one of us probably did some type of brotherhood, whether you're on a basketball team, football team, co-workers, construction site, you all have a brotherhood because you work together. In the military, it's a little bit tighter than that, because when you're at a war zone or a place of conflict, that guy beside you is responsible for your life, and I'm responsible for his. So there was some real tight brotherhood. There's guys that I've served with, and that's been almost 20 years ago, that we're like brothers still to this day because of what we went through, because I see them more than I see my own family. And their life and my life depended on each other. So brotherhood is one thing. The other thing is this. If you've ever had, and I'm not going to call it a privilege, but a sight of seeing a coffin loaded on a C-17 with a flag draped over it. And in that coffin is a young man that's got a lonely ride home. And on that end of that ride is his mom, his dad, his brother and sister, his wife and his kids. And if that doesn't get you right there, he's paid the ultimate sacrifice, and I'm not going to stand for that flag. Are you kidding me? And I'm going to voice my opinion gladly and to let everybody know why you should stand for that flag, because that should mean something, that this young man has given his whole life for that. And the last thing I'll tell you that really got me, and I hope I don't get emotional on this too, but we'll see if I can handle it. Like I said, my dad's brothers all served in the military. And my Uncle Junior, he was he invaded Normandy, landed at Utah Beach, and I've always wanted to talk to him, and I finally got a chance to talk to him. Me and my wife had a chance to go over to France about 2 years ago, And there I was, standing over his gravesite with those white crosses, and there's thousands of them. And thinking, as I'm standing over Uncle Junior's gravesite, I'm thinking, man, look at all these graves around here. And there's more than just these grave sites, there's all around Normandy. And by the way, the people of France honor those people, unbelievable. And it's unbelievable. He gave the ultimate sacrifice, or I'm telling you, and I think you know this, we would not be here because of these young men, what they did. And I just wanted to thank him and I just want to make him proud of me, and that, you know, that you want to know everything that he did meant something to everybody. And I guess I'll sum up my speech by this. So I was at Target one day. These two women came up to me and say, sir, you look like you were in the military. We've got a veteran that we work with, and we don't know what to get him for Veterans Day. And I said, you know, he really doesn't want anything. He just wants you to thank him. You know, he wants to make sure that what he did was worth it. Because again, was it worth it the time that I've spent away? Because when you're in an area of conflict, it's a lonely place. You might be surrounded by 700 people, but you're lonely because you don't know what's going on back home. You're missing a lot of things, and you know that. And then not only the danger that might be around you, but you want to know, is this worth it, the time that I've spent to do this for my country? And so if you just find a veteran and you tell them, because that's the greatest thing that anybody's ever given me. When they just came up, even when I go to Lowe's and I show them my ID card because I'm getting a discount, they say, thank you for your service. All that brings back memories of everybody that I've served with and everybody that's went through what we've been through. And believe me, I wanted to let you know, I'm no hero. I was surrounded by heroes, but I'm no hero. And I do appreciate every time that somebody says that. So that's all you can do, is just to let a veteran know that it was worth it, the sacrifice that he made. And I want to thank you for your time. And that's it.